guys, how are you? I actually wasn't expecting to do this finale so early, but this is going to be my Pan That Palette Singles Edition finale. I had done 2 updates prior and then an intro, and this is the finale. I actually finished off 3 out of the 4 eyeshadows that I have left, and the 4th one I know is not going to be finished by the end of the year. So I just wanted to call the finale now and then have some fun with my other shadows for the next month or so. I had actually previously finished my Naked palette in my previous Pan That Palette this year. I'll link that up in the cards right here for the finale. And I wanted to do something to finish more eyeshadows, especially my single shadows. I only have 3 single shadows left in the actual pots like that. I have some on my Z palette that are technically single shadows, but I just consider that a full palette. For next year, I'm actually doing something a little bit different for my Pan That palette, and I will be announcing that in December. Anyway, let's get on to the eyeshadows that I had finished this month, and then the ones I finished previously, so I can finish out this project. In my first update, I had finished 2 shadows, and these were my H&M Fine China eyeshadow, and I actually have 2 backups of this. One I'd actually hit pan on recently, and then I have a full one. I really enjoy this eyeshadow. It's just a nice matte creamy color, and it works perfectly for my brows. I love this shade, and I've repurchased this several times. This one was also a matte creamy color. This was Heaven from the Too Faced Natural Love palette, and I'd actually decluttered the rest of that palette. I depotted a couple shades and finished off one, I believe. So this was a good eyeshadow. I do prefer H&M Fine China because it's more pigmented. This one's a little bit more sheer and not as brightening. So I don't think I'd purchase this if it was a single for Too Faced, but if it came in a Too Faced palette that I purchased, then I would use it up because I do enjoy this shade. Since I finished those 2 shadows in my first update, I decided to include 2 more. The first one I actually finished up, and this is my Lorac Unleashed eyeshadow. I finished this in my second update, and this was a beautiful, coppery, metallic, really intense, beautiful shade. I loved this. This is very similar to Queen from Jaclyn Hill's Morphe palette. This is more orange, and the Queen and the Morphe palette is more gold, but they get the similar look on the eyes. And I really enjoyed that shade, but it's not cruelty free because it's Lorac, so I wouldn't purchase it again. And this was Colourpop's birthday cake that I had finished in that update as well. This was one of the Supershock shadows. This was the birthday edition one for the year, and it comes with beautiful baby blue packaging, and this was a really nice glittery pinky metallic shade. It was really gorgeous. It was beautiful. It wasn't too much glitter fallout whatsoever. I would actually pick up more of the Supershock shadows, but I'd probably only pick up like 1 or 2 at a time and then use them up, then buy other ones because they do dry out pretty quickly. They don't dry out too bad for me because I hit pan on them and try to use them up as fast as possible, but I noticed once you hit pan on these, they do tend to get a little bit crumbly. But this was a gorgeous shade. If they had this again, I would consider picking it up again. And for my finale, I did finish 3 eyeshadows. So the first one is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Sherbert, and this was in the Self-Made palette. This was a nice satin orangey brown shade. It was mostly orange. Beautiful, beautiful crease shade. I finished this earlier in the month. I really enjoyed it, but I have other browns that I can use in my crease that are very warm toned like this one. I'm going to insert a picture from my previous update so you can see how much progress I had. And this shade was one of the ones that I included once I finished the other 2 shadows in my first update. So I'm glad that one's done. This one I'm super happy to be done because it's not cruelty free and it was just old. This is the MAC Omega eyeshadow. This was a very cool tone shade. I use this in my brows the majority of the time and eyeshadow once in a while, but while I was trying to actually finish this up and pan this, I had mixed this in with the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula and made a nice contour shade. Not wearing it today because I just have the butter bronzer on and I had already finished this up, but I can't purchase MAC anymore because they're not cruelty free. If I have enough back to MAC empties, I would probably pick up a lipstick or an eyeshadow and probably just put it in a giveaway or something, but this was an okay formula. MAC eyeshadows are pretty good. They're not exactly my favorite. I prefer like the Colourpop pressed shadows, the Anastasia ones. I love the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, so I like more soft eyeshadows. I know a ton of people love MAC eyeshadows, but this one is not one I'd purchase again because I want to try out more brow pencils in the future, and I typically just use this as a brow shade. And before I forget, I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like last month so you can see how much I used up. And finally, I'm so happy about this. This is the L'Oreal Amber Rush Infallible eyeshadow. I finished this whole thing up. This has a ton of product in it, guys. As you can see, it is completely done. This was a gorgeous, gorgeous, stunning rose gold shade. It was super metallic, but I have other shades in my collection that are similar to this. I'm not sure if they're quite as good, but L'Oreal's not cruelty free, so I can't purchase this again. If I was gifted it by someone somehow, then I would definitely be happy about it. But it was a gorgeous shade. I have other stuff in my collection that could be used instead of this. I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like in my previous update. So I'm glad that one's done. The one that I didn't finish, and I only made a little bit of progress this month, is my Kat Von D Thunderstruck Metal Crush eyeshadow. So I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like in my last update. And here's where we're at with this one. As you can see, I've expanded the pan slightly, but honestly not a whole lot. There's just so much product in here, and I've used this as a highlighter and as an inner corner shade. I always say I want to try to use this as a lid shade, but I just haven't yet. Maybe I'm just not meant to use this as a lid shade, and that might just be it. I might try this month, maybe not, who knows. But this is a gorgeous kind of duochrome gold shade. It's so pigmented, I barely touched it. And here's what it looks like on my hand. It has some pink, and it kind of shifts to like a light blue shade. It's gold. I don't really know how to describe this color other than gorgeous. I love this, and it's something I would consider picking up more colors in a different formula. But I do want to try to stay away from single eyeshadows like this because I do just like to use my palettes, and I want to put more shadows in my Z palette eventually. So I'm glad that I put this in this project to make progress on it because it only had a little bit of pan before, but it's not something that'll be finished by the end of the year. So that's why I wanted to do this finale. In this project, I used up 7 eyeshadows in 3 months, which I think that's pretty good. So very happy about that. I'm really excited to show you guys my end of the year makeup empties. I have so much. Oh my god, I'm just so excited to share that with you and let you know how many eyeshadows I used up in total this year. It's pretty awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will let you guys know eventually in December what my plans are for next year for panning and panning eyeshadows and stuff like that. And again, thank you guys so much for your support over the years with my Pan That palettes. Those are my most popular videos, and I really appreciate you guys watching them and giving me tips and telling me how much my panning has helped you guys pan as well. I really appreciate that. It really warms my heart. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Talk to you later. Bye.